protection is enshrined in the Constitution of India. There are two particular articles, 48A and 51A, that talk about the need to protect the environment. And because it is coming from the Constitution of India, the government, the parliament, and a large number of stakeholders are actively involved in conservation of what I would say environment, biological diversity, forest and wildlife. And accordingly, India has then enacted a large number of legal instruments. The policies are aligned towards that, and so are the practices. Now, particularly I would like to mention one act that came into being in 2002, which is the Biological Diversity Act. And I take it back to 1992, when India became the signatory to the Convention on Biological Diversity. Now, having agreed globally the need to protect, the need to conserve, and need to equitably and fairly use the biological resources, it was felt necessary that India should also enact its own law. And that is where between 1992 and 2002, we worked to put our act together. And in 2002, the Biological Diversity Act was enacted. And we needed a mechanism, we needed an agency, we needed an entity to service and implement this act. And that is the origin of the National Biological or Biodiversity Authority, where I currently work. India has also established what I would say a three-tier participatory governance mechanism for biological diversity. It is very, very unique. At the apex level is the National Biodiversity Authority, located in Chennai. And then in all the 28 provinces in the country or states in the country, we have the state biodiversity boards. And in all the union territories, 8 of them, we have the Union Territory Biodiversity Council. So these SBBs and the UTBCs, they form the middle layer. But the most important layer is the bottom layer, where we have the local bodies called Gram Panchayat in Hindi. And these bodies or local bodies are responsible for participatory governance at the grassroots level. And we have, I am very pleased to say, established over 276,000 biodiversity management committees. So this is the kind of a structure that we have, what I said, the three-tier governance structure. And what we have is three basic roles of NBA. The first role obviously is that of conservation. Conservation of all biological resources. I am talking of plants, I am talking of animals, I am talking of microorganisms as well. So that is the conservation function. The second is the sustainable use function. These resources are just not to be protected or conserved or pickled in a jar. They have to be used. Use has to be sustainable. They have to be a fair use. We need to have an equitable use. And that is where the concept of fair and equitable use comes in. And the third part is the regulation. Whenever conservation is involved, wherever use is involved, you would need an entity to regulate that use. And that is where I mentioned the Biological Diversity Act comes into being, the National Biodiversity Authority comes into being. So these are our threefold function. We need to conserve, we need to sustainably use, and we also need to ensure that these resources are regulated. So that is where at NBA in Chennai, we have, it's not a very big office. There are dedicated small team of officers, both having the legal background and having the scientific background, because we need both. As you are aware that lot of patenting happens on the use of biological resources. So therefore we need people who are expert in law, who would advise that patents are first of all granted, but they are not wrongly granted, but all the considerations are met. So this team of legal experts work with NBA. Then we have scientific experts on different taxonomic groups, because they need to look at the conservation status of what species are on decline, what needs to be conserved, what needs to be protected. So in this way, we have been fulfilling the threefold function, as I said, of conservation, of use, and of regulation of the biological resources. We have a website. I would encourage people to look at our website and see that how different kind of information that are required. We are also trying to be active on social media, and very soon you will see a greater visibility of the National Biodiversity Authority, and I will urge you to kindly have a look at our website. Thank you.